Oh boy, here we go again. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy wants to build a nuclear reactor on the moon, and somehow, not surprisingly, the liberal media thinks it's racist.
If we want to keep growing a population, or if we want to live forever, all right, we're going to need another planet.
So is that the moon? Because A,
I don't want to live on the moon.
Right. Will it serve as a functional life source eventually for human beings? And B, we know how the age of colonialism worked on this planet. Should we be trying to colonize and saying that there's a keep-out zone that not other countries can participate in having?
Well, the real problem with the colonization history in Western civilization is that there were people already there. Right? There are no moon beings that were displacing.
Well, the real problem there is calling the moon a planet. But anyways, sorry, libs, MAGA is still going to the moon. Listen to the Duff Man.
We're in a race to the moon, in a race with China to the moon. And to have a base on the moon, we need energy. And some of the key locations on the moon, we're going to get solar power. But this fission technology is critically important. And so we've spent hundreds of millions of dollars studying.
You know, Jesse, I know nothing bothers you more than racism. Like, you lose sleep over racism. Like, when you just will not have it. You will not tolerate it. If you see it, you will attack it on sight. How hard did they have to look to find something racist on the moon? I could understand airist because there's no air on the moon. So no matter whether it's Whitey gets there first or not, it's going to suck when he takes a deep breath, correct? Like,
yeah, I predict space exploration is going to be a problem for liberals, and here's why. We're all assuming that aliens are more advanced than we are. Perhaps rightly, but let's say they're not. Let's say we're more advanced than they are. And when we go get them, we're able to capture them and then perform scientific experiments on their bodies and extract precious minerals from their planets.
Yes.
For the benefit of humankind.
Of course.
Of course. I could see liberals saying that's racist colonialism. But I disagree. We need to have Martians in museums so people can then look at what we've captured. We need to use the moon as a launch pad to colonize other planets in the solar system so we can just spread humanity all over the place. Because that's what God put us on this earth for, to spread humanity. Not in a sexual way, Dana, but to spread it around.
Well, how else do you do it?
Yeah, you did a really good job of spreading that around. Kennedy, Tyson is a brilliant man, and he literally was a part of one of the dumbest conversations I've ever heard. First of all, the moon is not a planet. Second of all, he's like, oh, you know, we colonized down here. And again, the moon is a crater. It's not a planet. It's a moon. Yeah. And there's a lot of problems with
rock that's spun off of us.
Yes, and it's a lot of problems.
It's like the Ropers to Our Three's company.
Yes, it really. Well, I would have liked to have seen Furley and Mrs. Roper. I'm just saying, maybe something on the moon, we could have a treaty of some sort. But like, how, on the level of what is important in the world right now, arguing over whether it's going to be a racist moon colonization, is that really where we're at in the media today?
Yeah, that CBS This Morning Plus anchor needs to be relieved of airtime for a few weeks to go and have a little bit of a rethink about some of the dumb questions that he asks. Because, you know, as Neil deGrasse Tyson rightly pointed out, in order to colonize beings, you have to have beings. There are no beings there.
Moon beings. I hope they weren't offended by that.
Neil deGrasse Tyson has a phenomenal personality. And I'm a little offended that no one on CBS played Whitey on the Moon by Gil Scott-Heron.
Right.
Rat done bit my sister Nell with Whitey on the Moon. But, you know, it's like the point isn't that the United States wants to build nuclear reactors. I hope we do. I hope we have mini reactors. I hope we have private reactors. Nuclear is absolutely the future if we are going to have energy independence as a country and as a species. But either we're going to do it or someone else is going to do it. I understand that, and I absolutely grant that. I don't think it's Russia because I think they're far more destitute than the rest of the world gives them credit for. I do think China is saving their powder on Taiwan because this is the kind of place they want to put investment. And of course, I want America to always be the victors in our ongoing Rocky IV battle.
Right.
I just don't want my taxes to go up. That's really so. If they can figure out a way to do this that is tax revenue neutral, I'm on board.
Rosanna, is there ever anything that happens during the Trump era, that the news can just, mainstream media could just report the news. It doesn't matter what it is. They're building a nuclear power plant on the moon, and somehow they connected it to Trumpism and racism. Like they just, at some point you want to say, just take 5.
I was just wondering, was there a wink there somewhere? Neil deGrasse Tyson, who I love, if he was my science teacher, I would have been the best student. Sadly, he was not. But anyway, he wasn't even buying that whole
Yeah, he tried to pivot. Yeah.
He tried to pivot really quickly. But this is what I want to say. The race to outer space has so shifted. Remember when those 2 astronauts were stuck at the International Space Station for months? Nobody could get them home. Not NASA, not the Russians. It took Elon Musk, a private businessman, to get his resources together to rescue them at the International Space Station. I mean, times have changed. It's a race to space, and who knows who's going to win this? But it's a big business now.
Yeah,
it's a big business.
Dana, that's a great point, because for a minute there, it looked like private businesses going to the moon was the way to go, because Elon had that amazing thing, but then Amazon had their launch, and everyone was kind of like, oh, maybe we need to go back to NASA. Like, in the range of what's important in the country right now, like on your list, when you wake up in the morning, are you excited about having possible lighting on the moon?
So this is a great question for me, and I'm going to make a confession.
Please.
It's the last thing I care about.
It's on my list.
When
it's number 37. Yeah.
When there's going to be a space launch and it's going to happen during America's newsroom, I could cry.
Yes.
Because I'm going to have to talk about it. And I'm going to have to look at Bill Hemmer and say, "What? I don't know." I'm going to have to be on the Google. I have to say, the only thing I ever cared about was pigs in space.
Right.
And I loved pigs in space. I want nuclear power. I want it here. I want people's electric bills to go down because we have clean nuclear power here. And I know it's probably easier to build one on the moon right now because of permitting, but I would really love to see us be able to do it in America. And I wish so much that I cared about space, but I don't. And I found this to be a very August type story.
Yes, because I agree with you. Again, I would rather our airports work and our light bills be a little less. And again, looking up to the moon and the full moon and seeing a nuclear power plant light fly on, I guess that'll be cool for the telescopers out there. But let's clean up our neighborhood first. All right, coming up next, here's an important life lesson: never steal another man's mail.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.